If you are a service-based business, you probably have multiple acquisition channels from where you do acquire your leads. And those acquisition channels might be your ads, your content, or your outbound system. Those leads either call you directly to ask about your services, or they opt in through a form where they have to actually answer some qualifying questions, leave their contact information, and wait for you to contact them back. And the goal here for you as a business is to actually let them move to the next step of the funnel. The next step could be setting up an appointment, showing up to a call, sending quotes, or whatever the next step could be for your business, depending on how your funnel actually looks like. And as you probably already know, one of the most important things to do if you want to optimize your conversion rate in that specific step of the funnel is to actually call those leads as fast as possible. Because first thing, those leads have just opted in, they are still fired up, so you better strike while the iron is hot. And second thing is, the moment your leads will see your ad, click on your creative, and they give you their contact information, the platforms will automatically classify that person as a high intent user for that specific product and service that you are selling. So they will be flooded with tons of ads from all other competitors in the market, and you actually never know how hungry your competitors are. So you might be as well as quick as possible when it comes to calling your leads. So in this video, I will show you how to track that metric properly, so you always ensure that your team is operating on the highest quality standard. As you know, the metric that I'm talking about here is called the speed to lead, which is a metric that you need to be tracking as a CEO and should be present in all your CEO dashboards and trackers. And basically the reason why I'm doing this video is because a lot of businesses are not aware of the nuances that resides beneath that metric. You cannot just come and calculate the average of however long it takes between the date when your leads actually opts in and the date when the first call occurs. That method will not give you the clarity that you need as a CEO, because the metric could easily be skewed with any outliers. So I will walk you through here how to measure that metric the right way, and I will share with you at the end this dashboard right here that you can just plug your data into, and you will be having all the clarity that you need to actually drive informed decision making. So what you are actually seeing here is an example of a dashboard that we built for our clients inside Analytically. The first thing I will start with here is the date filter, and what this filter does is that it allows you to actually pick the period that you want to analyze. If you do not change this filter, the dashboard will return lifetime reporting, which is whatever you have in your data since inception. Here we have the number of leads, which is the total number of people that have opted in. As I have mentioned, whatever comes from your ads, from your content, from your outbound systems. And here is where actually the nuances starts to pops in. So what we want to do is to basically segregate between the leads entering during the working hours and the leads entering during the off hours. And what I mean by working hours and off hours, if the team who is responsible for calling your leads actually work from 9 to 5, that means that 9 to 5 would be the working hours. And anything outside that will be considered as the off hours. And what this will allow us to do is to segregate between execution problems and coverage problems. What does that mean is that any lead that's not entering during the working hours is not subject of my speed to lead metric, meaning it will just not be included. And only the leads entering during the working hours are the leads that are actually going to be included. So basically the way how we should be reading this is we have 744 leads that we have acquired, out of which 486 have entered during the working hours when my team who is responsible for calling the leads is working, and this represents 65% of the total leads, which is just this number divided by this number. If 65% actually gets acquired during the working hours, that means that 35% gets acquired during the off hours. And now it's up to you as a CEO to actually decide what to do with those 35%. You can either do nothing about it and wait for your team to actually dial those people at 9 a.m. in the morning, or maybe you can extend your team working hours if most of those leads actually arrive just 1 to 2 hours outside the current shift. Or if the distribution is actually spread across day and night, you can maybe hire other team members in other time zones to actually create true coverage. And the chart that will actually give you the real insight to actually make such a decision is the chart right here, which actually shows the distribution across hours of when your leads actually enter during the day in general. So for the case that I have right here, as you can see, I will grab my marker just to mark the working hours and the off hours. So for example, in this company, the working hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So, and as you can see, I have here 1 hour in the morning, which is from 8 to 9. And after the shift, I have almost 4 hours, which is from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And the sum of this plus this actually represent that 65%. So this company has full awareness now about what's actually happening in the back end in terms of lead entrance time. And now they can see the resources that they have and actually settle the coverage for those 4 hours at night and 1 hour in the morning. So to conclude this part, as a CEO, your main goal, if this number right here is low and your team actually works from 9 to 5, that means that there are leads actually entering during the off hours that you need to find solution for. So now we have clear goal when it comes to coverage. This is a way for us to actually, as I mentioned in the beginning, to segregate between coverage and execution. Now let's discuss the actual speed to lead and how to actually track it the right way. So the thing in that part that we will need to do is that we need to pick a standard that we want your team to be operating generating at. And let's pick a number like 5 minutes as a standard. We want all our leads to be called in less than 5 minutes. And that standard will become the metric that we are trying to actually pump and improve as much as we can. So in a perfect world, you need to have a scorecard that shows you the percentage of leads dialed in less than 5 minutes. And in the other extreme, the things that we want to avoid as much as possible is having leads not dialed at all. So the right way to actually read all that, the dashboard that you are seeing right here, is that we have 744 leads that have entered, out of which 486 have entered during the working hours. That represents 65% of the leads. That means that I have 35% of leads that have entered during the off hours that I will need to find a solution for. And in perfect case scenario, this should be as close to 100% as possible. If it's close to 100%, that means that I have 744 here, and this also will become 744. And then out of those leads entered during the working hours, I need to know how much or what's the percentage of those that have been dialed in less than 5 minutes and how many have not been dialed at all. And out of the bat, once you open that dashboard, you really know how your company basically is performing on that matter. The number right here should be close to 100%. The number right here should be 0 ideally. And the number right here should be close to 100% as much as possible. And you can track the improvements of your team month over month through the chart right here. So for example, if I hover to the month of December, I will have the breakdown of all the leads that have come during the working hours. And I can see how many have not been dialed, how many have been dialed in less than 5 minutes, how many leads have been dialed between 5 and 15, how many leads during 15 and 30, and any leads dialed above 30 minutes would just like to be grouped in a label called more than 30 minutes. So again, in a perfect world, you want to see no black and as much yellow as possible. Just by having this dashboard in your company, you will have a portal where you can actually track one of the most high leverage metrics in your business that will allow you to improve your operations and basically improve your conversion rates and all the other metrics that follow. Now, let me show you how you can plug this to your company. I will show you the way how you can get that dashboard and plug your data into it so that you can have all those charts showcasing data of your company and your business. So if you go to the description below, in the video, you will find 2 links. You will find the Google Sheet template and you will find the Looker template. The Looker is basically the platform where we do create all those dashboards. And the Google Sheet is basically the thing that holds all the data in the backend that gets visualized afterwards. So the first thing that I will be doing is that I will click on the link of the Google Sheet. I will be redirected to this page. I will click make a copy. And once you click make a copy button, you will have this stored in your drive on your environments. So the first 2 things that you need to respect is never change a column title and never change a gray cell, only change white cells. So for example, the white cells here are the column 1, column 2, column 3, and those 2 values that I will get into them afterwards. So basically, in order to replace your data, you just should come here and empty all the cells that are in white right here and plug your lead ID, your lead option in ads, and your first call ads. For the lead ID, if you have any identification process in your CRM, that's a lead ID, or you can just use a phone number since every lead will have a unique phone number. You have lead opted in at, which is just the date when basically the lead has been captured. This could be, for example, the created ads column in your CRM. And you have the first call ads, which is something that you will need to capture if you have, for example, a dialer or your team actually populates this into your CRM for every lead. So ideally, you prepare your data somewhere else in another sheet, and then you just come here and copy paste all the 3 columns here without changing the title names. Those 2 columns right here, which are the speed to lead and is within working hours, those do automatically update. As you can see here, I have formula in the speed to lead, and I also have a formula in the is within working hours. And here you have the working hours, which is from 2 that you need to update based on the coverage that you have decided to actually put. If your team actually only works 9 to 5, you can keep this the way it is. If you have decided to add extra coverage, you can update this depending on what are the hours that you are basically covering. Another thing that I need to mention is that make sure that there are no duplicates. So every row needs to represent 1 single lead. And I have put together here the rules that you need to respect. So no duplicate records, as I have just mentioned. They should be in timestamp formats for those 2 columns right here, which are the lead opted in at and the first call at, as I have in my example before. Those are not dates, those are timestamps or date time formats. So you have the dates here plus the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. This is the second thing that you need to dial in. The third thing is that don't change column titles, and the fourth thing is don't edit any cell in gray since it's automatically calculated. And once you do this, I do highly recommend that you rename this as in just as a way that we can remember. I will just put here 4 X's just as a way for us to easily spot it afterwards. this. And you should go afterwards to the second link in the description, which is the Looker template. So you click here, you will be redirected to the Looker template. And once you land in this page, you just click use my own data and go to owned by me. You will find the Google Sheet that you've just renamed popping up as the first one. So I will click on that one, and then I will click on sheet 1, and then I will click finally on the button called add, and you will find the dashboard updating with your own numbers that you can save somewhere or bookmark it so that you can get back into it whenever you want to. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for following till the end. Again, don't forget to grab this below in the description. And if you are a founder or CEO of a 7 or 8 figure company and you feel that you are flying blind, your backend data and your systems are a mess, and you want to actually dial in everything and have reliable data systems that measure all that matters in your sales departments, your marketing, your fulfillment, your customer success, or whatever the departments that you have without you having to pull any sheets and everything updates in real time, make sure to book a call below with me or someone of my team, and we will be so happy to actually assist you. Also, if you want an entire roadmap and the data strategy on how to become a truly data-driven company, you can check that video right here. Thank you and see you in the next video.